Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our April 7th Cromwell Board of Education meeting. I'm going to call our meeting to order at 7:05, and I'm going to ask Lisa if you could please take the roll call. Here. Here. Thank you. The agenda is presented. The only change that I have is that we're going to remove the celebrating our faculty and staff because that is going to be moved to our May meeting. So I need a motion to approve the agenda as amended, please. Thank you, Mr. Zabrowski. Thank you, Mr. Schuman. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everybody. I have one correspondence, and I'm going to summarize it, and then we will send it out to the community with the minutes when Lisa sends the minutes. But it was a beautiful letter from former board chair Mrs. Kelleher recognizing Dr. Macri for her years of service and for her contributions to the community and to our school system, and congratulating her on her well-deserved retirement. So I think you all received that? Okay, so then that will go out with the minutes. I'm not going to read it for the sake of time, but much appreciation to Mrs. Kelleher for her beautiful recognition of Dr. Macri's years of service. We just received it a couple hours before the meeting, so I'll make sure you get it, Lori. Okay, moving on to public comments. Do we have anybody that would like to provide a public comment? Okay, anybody? Yes. Okay, I was waiting for that, but I thought you were all just really interested in the rest of the meeting. Okay, before you speak, I have to read. The last time I did this too quickly, I'll try to find a happy medium. First time I read it too slow. I have to read you the rules for public comment. So bear with me because it's going to be a minute. And this is posted on the Cromwell Board of Ed website for anybody that is interested. Individuals are welcome to address the Board of Education for up to 3 minutes each during public comment portions of the meeting, but board members generally will not engage in dialogue. The Board of Ed chair may, at her discretion, extend the time for public comment. Speakers must come to the podium and share their names and address. To facilitate efficient sharing of your comments, we encourage you to share any comments you have about instruction, discipline, or learning materials first with your student's teacher, then principal, followed by the superintendent, before bringing comments to the Board of Education. However, if you do not believe your comments have been addressed appropriately, or you believe they should be shared with the Board of Education for any other reason, please feel free to do so. Any complaints, concerns about individual Cromwell BOE employees should be directed to the superintendent and the BOE in writing rather than in public comment at Board of Ed meetings. All comments must not include personal attacks, and comments cannot be discourteous, threatening, vulgar, or otherwise inappropriate. The board chairperson, at her discretion, may curtail any public comments or terminate anything that is inappropriate, and may terminate the individual's privilege to address at any time if they violate any of these rules, violate reasonable standards of decorum, are boisterous or repetitious. The Board of Ed reserves the right to limit public comments to particular topics. Sorry, almost done. The Board of Education values the well-being of our students and families. Those electing to make public comments at Cromwell Board of Education meetings are strongly discouraged from sharing identifiable information about their children In such comments, including but not limited to name, age, learning ability, and are reminded that any comments made during a Board of Ed meeting become a permanent matter of public record and may be accessible by individuals in the future. As such, any person making public comments during a Cromwell Board of Education meeting is solely responsible for the information they choose to share. We kindly ask that you consider the privacy of your family and your children while making public comments. Whew. Okay, with that, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Amanda Rothschild. I reside at 96 Court Street in Cromwell, and I also teach first grade at ECS. Dear members of the Board of Education, we would like to share our concerns about the budget for the 2026-2027 school year. We are disheartened that the budget sent to the Board of Finance include cutting a first grade teaching position. We feel it is important that you hear from the professionals who spend their days nurturing and educating our youngest children in Cromwell. Cutting a teaching position will not only affect the teachers and staff, but most importantly, it will directly impact the children and their futures. While this first grade position is being cut due to attrition, for 2 years there has been an amazing educator who has provided the best education to her students while also loving and encouraging them. By cutting this position, she will not be able to stay as an educator in Cromwell. It will be a great loss to ECS, our students, and the Cromwell School District. Additionally, by cutting this position, there will only be 6 classroom teachers in first grade, while kindergarten and second grade currently have 7 classroom teachers. This difference may seem inconsequential due to current class sizes, around 14 or 15 children. However, as we know, our children are not just numbers. At ECS, one of our primary responsibilities is to teach children how to read so they can use this essential lifelong skill to learn. Before children can learn to read, teachers need to ensure that their social and emotional needs are met. Each day we work to meet the growing needs of our student population. In our classrooms, we currently support students with a variety of diverse needs, such as students who face food insecurity, homelessness, family incarceration, abuse, poverty, trauma, and those experiencing panic attacks, ADHD, anxiety, or other mental health struggles. At the moment, the number of students per classroom is lower. However, this does not account for new students who move into our district over the summer or throughout the school year. Young children's needs have grown more than ever before. If class sizes grow due to this teaching position being cut, it will result in each first grade teacher trying to meet more students' social and emotional needs before they can reach a place of educating them in literacy, mathematics, and more. Therefore, we need to think less about what the numbers are and more about what those numbers represent, our children. In previous meetings, it has been discussed that class size is a sense of pride in Cromwell, and keeping class sizes small is essential. But cutting a teacher has the opposite effect. Many teachers at ECS have seen class sizes drastically fluctuate over the years. Some of us have taught class sizes that have ranged from 14 students to around 24 students. While next year the class sizes look smaller, the incoming kindergarten class is projected to be larger. It is a strong possibility that we will need another classroom teacher very soon. Another important factor to consider is that when a teacher is out and a substitute is unavailable, classes are being split among other grade level classrooms, giving each teacher in the grade 2 to 3 additional students. If this occurs next year, teachers will have larger class sizes along with 2 to 3 more students if classes are split for the day. Splitting classes can be disruptive for children, as most students rely on routine to feel secure and ready to learn. When their normal schedule is interrupted, it introduces uncertainty into their day. At the same time, the teacher receiving additional students faces the challenge of meeting the needs of a larger and more diverse group of learners, which can make it harder to provide effective support for everyone. Thank you for listening to our thoughts and allowing us the time to explain our perspective. Teachers are the greatest champions for children, and we are here to share what we see as an important need for our littlest learners. We are asking you to reconsider the cut of a teaching position because it will not only affect students and teachers now, but for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you sharing your thoughts. Is there anyone else that would like to provide public comment? I promise I won't read that whole thing again if you do. Anyone else? Okay.
I would just like to know who is here in support of that message.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. As our process and as we've done historically, we usually do not make comments or provide feedback or have a dialogue. So appreciate you sharing. I'm sorry we can't enter into discussion with you, but thank you for sharing your thoughts and thank you for being here. And I'm sorry. We're not going to comment though. We can't comment on the public comments per legal matters. Well, no, because then that would open up a whole discussion about this, and we're really not allowed to do that. Sorry. We can add, though, that we did have extensive conversations, and you can look back if you want to see our discussion about this particular topic. We did have extensive conversation about this before we made the decision. So I think that will help, I think, address your point, huh? Yes. Okay. We're going to move on to celebrating our students and Miss Cocciola. And a congratulations to you, Miss Cocciola, on a very well-deserved retirement. We're so happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it hasn't hit yet, so bittersweet, and we still have a lot of work to do till June 30th, so we'll revisit that then. So I'm very honored this evening. Come on over here. This is Gabby Cholajay-Chalk. She's an 8th grade student at Cromwell Middle School, and she certainly deserves quite a shout out. Gabby, for 3 years now, starting in 6th grade, when she was shorter than I was, would hold a clothing, maybe you weren't, clothing drive every year. And she, it was her initiative. She ran that all on her own. She set up everything. She collected all the clothing and then delivered to the different agencies that she wanted to support. She did that for 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. So I just want to just absolutely recognize her for her commitment and her care to the community. And I asked Gabby to say a few words because I'd love for you to hear it from her perspective.
Good evening, Board of Education. Thank you for this recognition opportunity. I wanted to start off by properly introducing myself. My name is Gabby Cholajay-Chalk. I'm an 8th grade student at Cromwell Middle School and a devoted athlete off campus. I came tonight to speak about my clothing drive. I've actually been doing this event for 4 years since I've been 10 years old in 4th grade. I gained inspiration about this event from my parents, who began collecting clothes in their chiropractic office to ship off to war zones, specifically in Ukraine. Being the person I am, I decided to spread this idea throughout the school systems. Each year in the colder months, I collect winter clothes and distribute them to the needy. The groups I've involved with so far were the homeless, orphanages, war takers, and disaster survivors. I truly love participating in this event because it teaches me how necessary kindness and love are, especially in hard times. I believe if you put kindness into the world, it will come back to you. But for now, my deed has been done by helping the community, which is all I've ever truly wanted to do. Thank you.
So we're so proud of her. Thank you for allowing us to chat tonight.
We're so proud of you. Thank you for everything that you do for the community and for others in such a selfless way. What an example you are. Anybody have any comments? Okay.
I'll just say something real quick.
Mrs. Lamb.
I know April is the global month of service, but Gabby, I just want to thank you. It's not just April that I know you're focused on your community. So that's really amazing work and quite amazing leadership as well. So just thank you for doing that for everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Gabby. Appreciate you. Okay, I'm going to move on to reports from the Town Council, Board of Finance, CMS Building Committee liaisons. So Town Council, Mr. Zabrowski.
Sure. Excuse me. I attended the March 11th meeting. There were a number of budget workshops in between that one and this one, which I read the materials. I wasn't able to actually attend. The March 11th was the day after our last meeting. The town actually ran into a similar insurance issue that we did. They were also exploring the partnership. I believe that they ended up going with the partnership in the end. But they were facing the same issues we were with that. Of other interest to the Board of Education, the town manager asked for approval to appoint a new health director that was actually appointed. The name of that person is Maura Esposito. And then the other thing was, the other thing of interest to the Board of Ed is Victor Harpley was formally appointed to the Public Asset and Facilities Committee, which we deal with. I think it was actually, he was appointed mistakenly as a permanent and should have been an alternate or vice versa. So it wasn't like anything major or groundbreaking, but that's about it from that meeting for us. Thank you.
Okay. Catherine is our representative to the Board of Finance, but thank you to so many of you that spent a very long evening with the Board of Finance and got to hear our budget get presented and get approved by the Board of Finance. I know this was many, many meetings and late nights of very hard work. So thank you so much for all your work to get it through Board of Finance, hopefully pass referendum, but just huge appreciation. I thought the presentation went incredibly well. I don't know if anybody else has any thoughts or feedback from that meeting, but I know you all spent a lot of time, so thank you for doing that. The other Board of Finance interesting note is that there's a willingness to reconsider a couple of items that were pulled from the Town Council's agenda for CNR. So we're going to be looking at, and I think it was added already to the Town Council meeting later this week. So we're going to be looking at those two projects that had kind of been hanging. So the air conditioners at ECS and lights in the auditorium at Woodside. So hopefully, Mr. Pisano, if he has a report, he can share if he's gotten updated quotes, but hopefully those will move through Town Council and get approved. And as well, there was lengthy discussion about the phone systems, which I think we have the potential to get approved all this year instead of doing it incrementally, which would be great. So I thought those were all excellent discussions. Anything else from the finance meeting that we wanted to highlight? Okay. CMS Building Committee, Mrs. Lamb, do we have anything from the Building Committee?
Yep, just a few things to update everyone on. So our last meeting was March 18th. And at that time, we received news that we got approval from the state to go out to bid for our solar panels. So that should be in the bidding process right now. That was really good news. They are continuing to work on the exterior of the site now that it's springtime and all the snow is gone. They're doing the punch list items for plantings and things like that. As of the 18th, the athletic fields were not yet approved to be played on. So Claudia may know if there's any further developments, but still waiting potentially. We'll learn more at our next meeting. And the last piece that's coming up for our next meeting is looking at the gym floors and the auditorium floors. So, yep, those are our highlights.
Perhaps Mr. Pisano can give us an update when we get to Facilities and Technology Committee, and we can talk about some of those. Thank you. Okay. Student representatives. I think I went middle school first last time, so if we could do high school. And Jacob and Marcel, you want to tell us all the exciting things that are happening at CHS?
This week is the second annual Social Justice Week for Cromwell High School. Students are able to attend meetings throughout the week about an array of topics and issues, including queer history, how to report a hate crime, impacts of AI, and so much more. Huge congratulations to Dr. Kirschbaum on earning her Teacher of the Year award. I honestly don't know how I'd be able to get through AP Physics without her, and her motivational minutes are truly the best. The 10th annual blood drive in honor of Michael Ribera is being hosted on Saturday, April 25th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the high school gym. Raven Theed and Charlie Mandigo were honored as CHS's Outstanding Arts Awards recipients. Raven did an amazing job on her senior mural shed. Students are excited for April vacation next week. Time to relax, recharge, and catch up on some much-needed sleep. Overall, April is running smoothly. See you next month during the AP Test month.
The spring season has begun, but I think it's still way too cold to sit outside to see a game. The boys tennis team had the first 2 games away, winning 4-3 and 6-1 against Old Saybrook and East Portland, respectively. The first home game is at Watrous Park tomorrow against Rocky Hill. The girls' tennis team similarly played those teams at home, but lost each time. They look for a comeback on Friday away at HK. The golf team has their first home match at the TBC River Highlands against Cheshire tomorrow. The boys lacrosse team started their season at Valley Regional with a 2-8 loss, but their first home game is against Lime Old Lime on Thursday. The girls lacrosse team opened their season at home versus Valley Regional with a loss of 16-4. Their next game is away at Lime Old Lime on Thursday. These teams are definitely up and coming, so don't worry and stay tuned for the rest of their season. Then, the baseball team had their first game away at Morgan, winning 4-2. The team played away at North Brantford yesterday and came away with a 6-3 win. Their first home game is tomorrow versus East Hampton. The softball team played their first home game of the season away at North Brantford with a 0-12 loss. They also have a home game tomorrow versus East Hampton at 4 p.m. Speaking of North Brantford, last week several student athletes attended the Shoreline Empower Leadership Conference at North Brantford High School. Here, they were able to meet spring athletes from other Shoreline schools, participate in various team-based activities, and demonstrate their leadership skills. I was glad to be invited as part of the news crew from CHS Studios as the CIAC asked us to make a commercial for them. We interviewed athletes from each Shoreline school and will make an ad to promote sportsmanship and leadership in athletics. Each day this week there's a game to see, so make sure to support your Panthers.
Thank you, Jacob and Marcel. Appreciate it. We can move over to CMS. Summer, are you starting us?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Quarter 3 closed on April 3rd and the 4th quarter is underway. Parent-teacher conferences were held March 17th and 19th at CMS. The PTO hosted the Harlem Wizards for a charity basketball game on March 30th. The event was an enormous success. Thanks to the Wizards, the PTO, all the teachers and administrators who participated, and of course to all those who attended and made this special event for the community. The CMS music department is busy. The chorus started back up for quarter 4 and we are in full swing with only about 5.5 weeks of school until our spring concert for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade chorus and select choir on May 20th at 6 p.m. The 8th grade chorus will be taking a trip to CHS on May 11th for our newly created district-wide chorus night that evening. This is a collaboration with the 5th grade chorus at WIS and the high school choir. The 6th grade chorus has begun preparing for their performance at the annual Butterfly Night on May 28th in collaboration with the 6th grade academic classes. The CMS band will be hosting their spring performance on May 13th. Additionally, jazz band students will be performing at the district-wide jazz festival on May 6th and the district-wide band performance on May 14th. Congratulations to Brooklyn Pleasant, Charlie Truss, William Palmer, Luna Remez, Ellie Gosling, and Aurora Ireland for having their very own composition selected to be showcased at the CMEA conference.
Okay, yeah, this is on. Last time I spoke into it and it wasn't on. Not gonna do that this time. The CMS Drama Club closed the Alice in Wonderland show on Sunday, March 1st after 3 amazing performances. A whopping 53 actors and almost 30 techies brought this classic story to life. The staff cannot wait to see everyone next year for the 2027 all-school production. I was in stage crew, stage manager, and I never heard of this, so it'll be a surprise for everyone. I don't know what this is. So it'll be cool though. The World Language Club has been actively meeting on Tuesdays and Thursdays usually, celebrating holidays like Holi, St. Patrick's Day, among others. More meetings will continue throughout April as the club gears up for the Cultural Cook-Off celebration in May. There's a lot of good food there, always is. The 6th graders participating in Project O, or Oceanology, hosted a field trip to Avery Point and Groton to participate in a seal population study. Students counted, recorded, and shared out their findings from 3 different locations. At one of the locations, approximately 98 seals were counted. Project O is planning another field trip, which will take place on April 23rd. The Yearbook Club is working towards their May 8th deadline. This year's theme is Our History / Our New Beginning. The deadline to order a yearbook is April 24th. The CMS Writing Club distributed its second installment of a newspaper-esque piece featuring creative fiction pieces featuring creative fiction pieces from multiple students, including 6th grader Aurora Ireland. This is the second time she's mentioned now, so maybe we need to get her up here next. I've met her. She's amazing. Be on the lookout for its next issue. For sports, boys and girls volleyball seasons have officially concluded. Coaches Miller, Willis, Bosworth, and Glowa wish to thank the student athletes for creating a successful season. Track and field tryouts began this week. Coaches St. Ange, Bosworth, and Glowa are excited for the strong turnout this year has brought. Baseball and softball are hosting tryouts this week in preparation for the coming season, and the coaches, Mr. Miller and Mr. Penny, along with future and returning players, are anxiously awaiting the first games. Finally, this was likely decided at the Board of Ed meetings, but the CMS Teacher of the Year has been decided as Miss Roccapiori. I have seen absolutely phenomenal educators from our school be nominated for Teacher of the Year time and time again, and even though I don't have her class, I can assure that she is no different. So congratulations to her.
Thank you so much, Summer, Jillian, Marcel, and Jacob. Any questions or comments for our student representatives? No? You guys are quiet tonight. All right. I will just tell you again, I know I tell you this all the time, this is the highlight of our meeting. So thank you so much for your insights, your enthusiasm, and for sharing all the things that happen. We don't know what's happening in your halls every day. So thank you for bringing that to us and sharing it with such enthusiasm and professionalism and maturity. So thank you all. You know, as always, you're welcome to stay, but you certainly don't have to. You all have to stay. Sorry. Is that what you're saying? So you can't leave. Oh, Marcel, if you bring donuts, yeah, now you have to stay. Sorry. So now you're stuck. I don't have any town collaboration updates unless anyone else does. Dr. Macri couldn't be with us tonight. I'm sorry, I should have said that earlier. So thank you to Dr. McLean, who's filling in very graciously and will provide any of the superintendent's updates and responses to BOE comments or action items.
We just have a couple things. First, a really heartfelt thank you for all of your attendance at the Board of Finance meeting. It was really, I think, a good night. It was, I think there showed a lot of support for our budget, and a lot of time and energy went into that. And so we really appreciate all of your support being there. End of year activities are underway. This is a busy time of year. Planning for all kinds of spring events is happening. You heard, well, you will hear from the student representatives next month as more start to happen. And Teacher of the Year is underway. So this week we have our observations of the teachers in the classroom, and then we'll name a district Teacher of the Year. You heard the high school is Dr. Kirschbaum. The middle school is Miss Roccapriori. Woodside was Miss Emma Baker. Yeah, and I don't know who ECS is. I didn't hear. Is Lucille here? Oh, Miss Susie. Okay, wonderful. Yes, so those great. Wonderful picks for this year. So we'll be observing classrooms and naming the district Teacher of the Year this week or early next week.
Thank you.
And that's it.
And just so everybody knows, Mrs. Cantwell graciously agreed to serve on the Teacher of the Year committee representing the Board of Ed. So thank you for doing that, Mrs. Cantwell. Are you going to observe teachers? Is that what you...
Yeah, well, we don't... Usually we have the interviews after the observations, so that's not until...
The interviews aren't till later, but
yeah. So it'll be a couple weeks before we announce.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so,
we have the observations this week.
Yeah, the observations, and then... yes, and then we have interviews with the 4 finalists, and then it's the really hard decision. It's always so hard.
It's really
it's because it's
this year won't be any easier.
Yeah, it seems like it gets harder every year because we feel so bad. We always, but I'll look forward to that. I enjoy doing that.
Thank you for doing that. Appreciate it. Okay, if no one has anything else, I think we're going to move on to Mr. Butwell. If you want to give us the update on the 25-26 budget, and then you have the next item too, so you can move right into budget line item transfers.
Great, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. So you saw on the report, very sort of typical of the recent reports. We're looking good. In general, there's a few areas that we would expect are running over. Our pupil services line, as expected. Our maintenance line has gone over a little bit due to some unexpected, repairs and such. And then the thing I'm going to talk about next is just the instructional and non-instructional equipment, 730 and 739. Those lines are running over, and we have some plans that we'd like to take care of with some additional money. So we're hoping for a budget transfer. But before we talk about that, any questions about the report itself before I get to that?
I'm just glad to see that we're still tracking in a positive way
Yes, we're looking good.
since we put all of our surplus to the. Got to get that in there. Thank you, Mr. Butwell.
Okay, so the next item would just be, as I mentioned, we have some instructional equipment and non-instructional equipment that we'd like to purchase before the end of the year. Regarding the instructional equipment, we did wish to put back, we did wish to allow the middle school to purchase $5,000 worth of musical instruments, which got cut from the upcoming budget. So that's a piece of that amount, and there is also some tech ed equipment that we've purchased that we're hoping to get reimbursed through a grant, but nonetheless, we've run the line a little bit, so we just want to make sure that we have appropriate funding for the rest of the year. So for the 730, I'm requesting an additional $11,000 be moved into that line from the benefits line, which if you look at your report is looking quite healthy. And then the second part is the non-instructional equipment. We've overexpended a little bit with some of special ed non-instructional equipment purchases that were absolutely mandatory and necessary. And then in addition, we would like to, again, purchase some of the high school items that were removed from the budget for next year, including the wind screens, the goalposts, the lineman sled, and the golf cart, the infamous golf cart. And then as also, Dr. Macri has had me researching furniture because we did look into getting some tables for this space that would be a little bit more space efficient. We're also looking at tables for the Board of Ed conference room. The tables that we currently have aren't great for our large leadership meetings, so we'd like to have those tables come over to the Career Center, and then we'd purchase some tables for that conference room space. And in addition, we're also hoping to purchase some cameras for the middle school. Apparently there's a few places where the cameras aren't able to see what our administrators would like to see. So that's about just under $20,000. So adding all of that up, we're hoping to transfer an additional $79,000 to the 739 line, also from benefits.
Thank you. Questions, comments? All right. Mrs. Cantwell.
The tables that are in the Board of Ed room that you were talking about, are those like brand new tables that we just got with the middle school?
They are brand new tables, yes.
So is there something wrong with them, or you just don't like them?
They're beautiful tables. The way that they're laid out, they're not really meant for large groups of people. So we're having difficulty fitting people in. We have about 20 to 24 people when we have leadership meetings, and the only thing I can say to describe it is it's that sort of like Thanksgiving table situation where you're getting your knee banging into the leg the way the tables are built. So there's tables that are specially designed for larger meeting setups such as that, and the legs are actually not on the corners. They're sort of at the front of the table. Also, they are they'll be mobile, they'll be foldable and rollable, so that in that space over at the Board of Ed, if we wish to, have a different setup, or that space needs to be used for groupings or whatever, it'll give that room more flexibility. Because right now the tables are just tables; they don't move, and they're not really comfortable to
It's
sit
really
at.
about where the legs are. It's a lot
Yes.
of wasted space because you can't push chairs in, so you can only get 2 at the table when you really should be able to get 3, because the legs, where the legs are placed, doesn't let you get chairs in there. So you have, really, it's like you could fit a third more people in there if you had different tables.
Can I just follow up?
And you might recall that Mr. Kuckel was looking for some furniture for his career center, so we feel like this is a great solution because that's where those tables will go, and he's happily agreed to accept them.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why this wasn't thought out before. It's a brand new building, and why didn't we order the right tables from the start? Like, this doesn't make sense. But I know there's a use for the tables, but why are we a year into it having to order new tables? Like, why wasn't this? Why, I guess, is my question. I don't know if anybody here knows the answer.
I think you had several thousand decisions to make, and if you whiffed on tables, foresight's, hindsight's always great, but it looked good, but probably didn't, in practice didn't work out. So,
All right, I'm going to belabor the table question for you, or issue for you. One of the things I think you talked about was replacing the tables here.
Yes.
So can you hold off on that? Because I want to talk when we get to open items about maybe not meeting here and finding some alternative. We had such a lovely meeting at the Board of Finance in that big room that was kind of conducive to conversation, and this kind of a meeting, the setup was better. So I want to talk about maybe moving our meetings over to Town Hall or some other location, but before we invest a lot of money in replacing these tables. So
Sure.
I would suggest we just wait on that.
Okay.
Even though I think we've all been a proponent for pushing for new tables, but we might want to change our location before we spend a lot of money on new tables. I don't know how much of that falls into your 79 and if you need to amend the 79 request.
I can amend the 79. I don't have the quote in front of me, unfortunately, but I would estimate it maybe if we could do transfer 15, and we'll knock 10 off the 79. Or sorry, 70. Yeah, 79. Knock 10 off, so request 69 instead.
Okay, so no one has any more questions? All right, then I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the 2 transfer items requested. So it would be $11,000 from the benefits line to the 730 instructional equipment account and $69,000 to the 739 non-instructional equipment account.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Schuman. Thank you, Mrs. Cantwell, for the second. All in favor? Anybody abstaining? Oh, Mr. Heisman, is that a no or an abstention? Sorry. Abstention? Okay, hold on. Mr. Heisman, Mr. Zabrowski, Mrs. Maddie, I don't know that we have enough to pass this. Because we don't have Can I open it up to discussion? I'm going to open to discussion so that we can.
My abstention lies more in it's more I'm not really understanding the table situation at the administrative offices. I get that seating is that there's like a third leg, I guess that's kind of out of place.
We can't all fit as an administrative team in the conference room is basically the problem. We can't all fit in there at the table.
I guess the building is new enough that I don't know who chose the tables. Are they still returnable? Are they is there another solution than just moving them over here and buying new? I guess is my question. Was that explored?
Any other comments, Mrs. Lamb?
I was going to say we can bring that up at our next meeting. It's on April 22nd. to see if there's something else that can be done with those tables. There was a furniture committee, so that team can probably get together with the architects.
Mr. Botwell, how much are we talking about with replacing those particular tables? Is it a significant amount of money that we're allocating? Because we don't have the breakdown of each of these requests.
I apologize. First, let me just mention that Mrs. Hicks was just saying to me she's on the building committee, and that the tables were, part of the building committee's decision, and that they have been we've tried to return them, but the vendor has not accepted that return.
We can't hear you, Lisa, but I'm happy to recognize you.
When they first came to install them, we did meet with the gentleman from Suburban and said that, we're trying to do different configurations. And he said that that's what was ordered, and we could not return.
Mr. Butler, do we know how much we're looking at in cost to replace those tables?
So I apologize because I don't have the breakout. I have about $25,000 for total furniture for all the things that I initially described, which would be tables and chairs for the central office boardroom, tables and chairs for this space, and then for a small conference table also at the Board of Ed. So if you want me to, I can certainly postpone this decision if you want to hold off until I have the specific amounts, or I can answer any questions that you have.
How time sensitive is some of this? Because if you come back with the information needed, you might get a full vote, but there's a lot of questions that are raised, and I don't want to delay it if it's going to mean that we don't have something we absolutely need. So how time sensitive are the things within that list? Because we won't come back again until May.
For some of the items, more time sensitive because the cameras are on this list also. So I could certainly pull out the furniture amount if the board was interested in just remembering that we have some SPED non-instructional equipment that's important for us to purchase. And the CHS items are on this list, the items that were removed from the budget, and the cameras for the middle school.
Okay. My suggestion, if folks are comfortable with this, is that we postpone the vote on this and ask for an itemized list of all the things that are going into because we don't have it. So everything that's going into that 79, I think people would be more 69 now. But I think my sense is folks would be more comfortable if we could see exactly what it is that we're agreeing to. Yes.
The other thing I would say is there a mechanism still through the building committee to purchase the cameras and the furniture as a change order to that project and receive some potential reimbursement?
Mrs. Lamb, do you know the answer to that?
We can ask. I think we're past that point now of being able to get reimbursement, but we'll certainly find out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there was a motion made and seconded. So if we didn't vote it down, but if we want to pull the motion, if we want to amend the motion or remove the motion, whoever, Mr. Schuman. Okay, so Mr. Schuman's withdrawing the motion. We're going to come back at our next meeting. If you can get us an itemized list, and in the meantime, we'll also go back to the building committee to see if any of those items can be added. That's a really good point, Mr. Heisman. If we can get some state reimbursement, we really should capitalize on that. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate the conversation. Okay. I'm going to move on to new business. So there is a donation to the music department. It's reference B in your packet, and that is an action item. So I'm going to ask Dr. McLean to just summarize what that is.
So this was something that was donated to us by the police department, and I can have Kelly come up because she was the one that that handled it. But it was a guitar that was in their. Go ahead. It was in like their storage, and they donated it to us. It's a nice guitar that is a nice addition to our music program. So, Cal.
Hi. It was a Gibson guitar that was seized, and when the state came in for an audit, um, the state did not want that, and they suggested to the police department that they donated it or had to dispose of it. So they came over and asked if we would like the Gibson guitar. So we talked to the music department. They came over and checked it out. Everything was in working order. So we filled out the form and are bringing it here to you guys tonight.
So a procedural question, because it was a donation, is it a dollar threshold that we have to take board action to accept a donation? Is that why it's an action item?
Yes.
Okay.
Because of the amount that it was valued at.
Got it. Thank you. Okay. Can I please have a motion to accept the Gibson? Miss Maddie's got it. You got it, Donna. But you got to put your speaker on.
I move that we accept, is that how I say it? That
Yes.
we accept the Gibson guitar at a cost of, at a value of $1,000. It's wonderful.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Mr. Zabrowski. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed or abstaining? All right. Thank you. We got the guitar. That's great. That is funny because I did not know we had to do that. All right. On to the pesticides letter. Dr. McLean, you want to tell us about the pesticides letter?
I am actually going to call Claudio up to talk about the pesticides letter.
Sorry, Mr. Pisano, can you tell us about the pesticides letter? And this is in follow-up to a really thoughtful public comment a few meetings ago, right?
Yes.
So thank you from one of our students. That was really
Correct.
awesome. Thank you.
Several months back, we received a letter from a student and a parent regarding the use of pesticides on field and to search out a more environmental.
Mr. Pisano, can you talk a little closer? There you go.
And to search out a more environmentally safer product, which we did, and what we've come to find out is a more organic, environment friendly product doesn't work as well, but it is available, and the cost is about 25% more. We currently spend about $21,000 in fertilizer and pesticides for the fields, and using a more organic product would be about $27,000.
And not do the job as well?
Correct.
This is informational. This is not an action item. You're not asking us to decide on this.
No.
You're just giving us the information as a follow-up. So thank you.
Yes.
All right. Any questions? Just Mrs. Lamb?
A quick question. Are there any other districts that are using the more environmentally friendly pesticides, and any idea what the results might be there? Are they getting good results?
Don't know.
Okay.
Mrs. Maddie? Oh, you got to use your...
When I read the, it must have been the letter from your landscaper or the person who does
The reference that you have.
treatments on the lawns and the
Mhm.
fields. He seemed to indicate that his advice was, highlighted in yellow, that it was a good idea to be aware of the fact that there are other circumstances. Do you have a comment or an opinion on that? It seemed to me, maybe I misunderstood. I'm not really into the landscaping thing, but he seemed to indicate that he would suggest we go on as we have, because we've been pretty successful with not having to use pesticides. Is that true? Did I get that part right?
There's always some herbicides and pesticides involved, whether it's you're dealing with grubs, whether you're dealing with clover. There's certain weeds and certain things to make the grass grow stronger, especially on our athletic fields. There are products that are more environmentally friendly, is the only way I can
understand.
describe it.
But he seemed to be of the belief that in the long run, it's sort of, what do I want to say? The two things together are going to equalize, and that he felt, considering what had been in the past, we should go on as we have
He
Was
based
that
on
his
based on
opinion?
my understanding is he would recommend that we continue using what we have been using.
Okay.
He's using the most environmental friendly
That's what he said.
pesticides
Okay.
as it is. They're not organic.
Right.
But we've had issues or infestations in the past when things haven't been treated well or certain things haven't worked. Then you got to go like one step above
Gung-ho on
and
this.
then go on something much stronger than we're currently using.
Right. Okay.
So there's always a challenge, try to keep a balance on what you use, and if it's working, you're using the lowest possible to maintain it. But if you lose control, then you got to go with a product that has a higher pesticide.
And in those
or
areas
herbicide.
that they seem to mark out, were those areas where kids are actually playing on the fields? There was an area where they marked out where it seemed as if this is where the pesticides had been used in the past.
I don't know.
There were two pictures. Did anyone see that? There were two pictures.
Are you talking about from the student when the student came and presented
No, I'm
to us?
talking
Because
about
they
what,
did. Get,
I'm talking about what was what was in this whole packet.
that's from the student. So that was the student identifying.
Oh, that was the student
fields.
identifying.
Yes, that came
Okay,
in public
okay,
comment and spoke.
All right.
That
okay.
wasn't
I remember
from the.
when the student letter was written. I didn't remember the pictures. Okay. I was just wondering if any of this were toxic and whether, in fact, in the past, was it the recent past, or was it the far past, whether kids had been on those fields or had been in those areas?
I can't answer that
You don't
question.
know. Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Brazzano, for following up on that. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm going to ask if Ms. DeMora can come up for the next action item, which is the non-renewal discussion action item C.
So Michelle, I don't know if you want to add to this, but we do have two non-renewals for this year, two one-year contracts. Molly Pollock and Lillian Sturmer, due to reduction in force. These are they were originally one-year contracts, and so we're recommending that the board vote not to renew those one-year contracts.
That is correct. Both positions were posted last year, and when they're posted as one-year positions, and so we're required to non-renew the positions, because if any position does open, we have to repost again, and if it's a permanent position, we have to post it as a permanent position, and then anybody can apply for that position at that time. So basically, how it works is the superintendent or assistant superintendent has to make a recommendation for non-renewal, and then after that, the Board of Ed then makes the motion for the non-renewal. So this is common practice for school districts. It's, it's not due to performance, it's due to reduction of force, and it's due to because they're one-year positions. That's all it is, and we're required to post every position that is available in the contract.
And even though they're one-year positions, we still have to vote on not moving them past the 1 year?
Correct.
Okay.
Because teachers gain tenure. So in order for us to stop the tenure, we have to non-renew. It is a common practice in most school districts.
Thank you for the explanation. Anybody have any questions? Mr. Zabrowski?
All right, so they're one-year positions. If we non-renew them, we're not going to bring those positions back, correct?
Those positions are one-year positions that filled in for people that were on leaves of absences. So
So the people who are on leaves presumably are returning and...
Could be.
Okay.
Could be and could not be, in the situation. I mean, we can't bring them back because it's only a one-year position right now. So they don't have a contract that says we're going to give them another year. So there's nowhere to go with the current contracts they have because they're only 1 year.
If those teachers don't come back, then we would post that as a full-time, like a full position.
Correct.
Okay. And
Thank
then
you.
the two people could reapply
Yes.
for those positions?
Yes, we want them to apply. I mean, we we don't want to lose anyone, and we value everyone, and we value these two so much, and they're awesome, and we don't want to lose them, and we want them to apply for any openings that we have.
Michelle.
And there will be an opening coming up.
Michelle, don't personnel stuff.
No, I'm not
No,
saying anything.
don't go too far.
No.
Okay.
There will be an opening coming up, but that's all that, we can
I'm
we can
only
do.
bringing it up because I've heard really positive things about the two individuals that it
Yeah.
will affect, and I want to make sure that they're in position to either come back in another position, or we're at the very least giving them really, really good recommendations.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just going to caution us. I really don't want us to get into personnel conversations. So, Mrs. Maddie, but just be careful.
Just a quick question. The people who are on leave, do they have to tell you whether or not they're coming back by April 15th? It seems to me in the old days, they had a cutoff point if they were on pregnancy leave or whatever it was, that they had to tell the district by a certain date. Is April 15th that date?
It's actually, there is a date in their contract that they're supposed to let us know if they're returning or not. Yes. You're
Is it?
absolutely right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for the explanation. And next time we won't make you go through this now that we understand. May I please have a motion to non-renew the contract for Molly Pollock and Lillian Sturmer? The motion is not to be renewed for the following year upon their expiration at the end of the 25-26 school year, and that the superintendent of schools is directed to advise such persons in writing of this action.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Schuman. Is there a second? Thank you, Mr. Heisman. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Abstaining?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay. Kelly's abstaining, Lisa. Okay. Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, next is action item D. It's the approval of the Open Choice Student Survey. So in your packet, you have reference D. It's a letter about the Open Choice program. There's a link to the survey. Unfortunately, it's a PDF, and I couldn't open the link, so we don't know what the survey says, but I've asked Dr. McLean to summarize what's in the survey and to just talk through this process. It is not our survey. It's Open Choice's survey about the quality of our programming.
So this is, we sent a similar survey out to the families of our choice students. This is not a survey that we created, but I always, in good faith, come to you guys when we're going to send a survey out to students. This is really Resco checking in with our choice students to see how we can improve, how they can improve the program. We're not even going to get the information on this. This is going to go directly to choice so that they can make program improvements. They're doing an audit of their program. So that's what the purpose of the survey is. It would only go out to our choice students. We had one go out to staff, and we had another go out to only choice families because they're just looking for feedback for that particular demographic of our students.
Sorry, I have all the questions tonight.
No, it's okay. Mr. Zabrowski.
Maybe I misread this, but when I read the document that we had attached, it sounds like it's only going out to one student, or did I misunderstand that? Is it one survey going out to all the students? Did I just misread that? Okay, because when you just said that, I was like, that doesn't match what I have in my head. Okay.
It's only
Thanks
the
for the
secondary students,
clarification.
so it's not the elementary students.
Okay.
We did get the survey from their families, but I think it's 7 through 12.
Okay.
Maybe 6 through 12.
Thank you. I definitely had a misunderstanding on that.
So is there a motion to approve the Open Choice Student Survey, the issuing of the Open Choice Student Survey? We're not approving the survey. Thank you, Mrs. Lamb. Is there a second? Thank you, Mr. Zabrowski. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Abstaining? Thank you. Motion passes. Mr. Bazzano, I'm going to invite you up for the CNR items update, which is also in your packet as reference E. You got to put your mic on. I'll just start a recording of me saying that.
As discussed earlier in the Facilities Committee, we are moving forward with the projects that we had, and our list is getting shorter, the ones we still have to do. We're still planning to complete almost every single project that we had on our list by the summer, and we're waiting for funding for new projects so we could begin those also.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Bazzano? I do. Are we going to be able to provide the data for tomorrow's meeting so that we can hopefully get those other two projects approved with the surplus that you saved from the exit signs?
We've already sent.
Yay.
We've already sent
All right.
all the information. We've sent not only the total remaining balance on the replacement of the exit signs, but the two projects, the WIS gym lighting, LED conversion, and the ACs for ECS, which come in lower than what the balance is from the lighting. We've already sent it to Amanda and Sharon, and we've also forwarded the cost of all three schools to replace the phones, in case there was some discussion whether they might consider doing all three schools rather than just one, even though town council had only moved one forward. But the Board of Finance wanted to see the whole package, and we've already sent that. So they received everything today.
Fantastic. Thank you. I know
You're
that was a Thursday night before a holiday weekend. So
Yes.
thank you for getting that information to them. I'm optimistic that those projects will be able to move forward. I think we made a really good case on the phones that it's a safety issue. So I appreciate the thoughtfulness and the speed in getting those quotes back to them in such a quick turnaround.
I'd like to take this moment to answer a question from before, because I don't have anything else on the agenda. As far as the fields, the construction team is returning on Thursday of this week. They're going to start mobilizing, and they're going to start working on cleaning up, reseeding, checking all the plants, make sure that they've taken root and are alive, replace any that are not, and they're going to review the fields. As you know, the fields were put down with sod in the intent to get them ready faster. It does take a little bit of time. I mean, they were put in kind of late in the season. They want to make sure that the sod really has taken hold. These are sports fields. It's not just a walking field. So you're going to have kids with cleats running, changing direction. You don't want to tear it up for the sake of hurrying it up. But as we stand today, there are still signs that the softball field and the new softball field and the new soccer field is still unplayable until they've been cleared.
Thank you, Mr. Fasano.
You're welcome.
I know there's kids that are anxious to get on them, so thank you for trying to expedite that.
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions for Mr. Fasano? Okay. Thank you so much. All right, moving on to approval of minutes and motions. This is for our March 23rd, 2026 special meeting. It's reference F in your packet. May I please have a motion to approve? Thank you, Ms. Maddie. Thank you. Second by Mrs. Cantwell. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Abstaining? Okay, that passes. Thank you. Next is the action item. It's a stipend approval. It's the 2025-2026. It is for the Cromwell High School JV baseball coach, and it's a stipend for Shay Tracy. It's in your packet. Just a thank you to Mr. Tracy for stepping up, because I don't think we had a JV baseball coach, so glad that we found somebody to do that. I need a motion to approve the stipend, please. Thank you. Mr. Schuman beat Mrs. Maddie this time. Mr. Schuman seconded by Mrs. Maddie. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Abstaining? Thank you. That passes. Look, we're flying. Informational in your packet is the Human Resources Personnel Activity reference H. Purely informational, unless anybody has any questions or discussion on that. I was glad to see so many new hires. Thank you, Ms. Morrow.
And I want to just reach out with appreciation for our retirees, particularly Ms. Cochiola, Curtis. I'm going to stay Surly, if I put my glasses on, and Mr. Civitello. Obviously I've had the opportunity to work closely with Ms. Cochiola, and she is going to be missed dearly. I wish her the very best in her retirement, but it's been an absolute honor to work with her. Being a middle school principal is no small feat, and she has done it with absolute grace, and it's been really, truly an honor to work with her. So best wishes in your retirement, and we're going to miss you.
We thought for sure you'd stick around to enjoy that beautiful new school.
Stick around to
Thank
build it,
you
yeah.
for seeing us through that. Thank you. We will miss you, and we are so grateful for all of your years of service. Any other? And Mr. Zabrowski wants to make a motion not to accept the resignation. Can we do that? She might not like that, but you could try.
I would make the motion, but I'm a little bit afraid of you.
As it should be. This means she's a good principal.
Okay, I'll move on and save Matt from that. Also in your packet are the principal's reports. Unless anyone has any questions, that is also there, informational. Questions, comments? We good? Okay. I'm going to move us on to our policies. There's second read. There's quite a few policies in your packets. I'm going to take each of these individually. I think so, right? Oh, there's a lot.
I usually do A.
Hold on one second. Yep. Mrs. Cantwell.
I know I'm being mindful of Ms. Lamb's input. Just a suggestion. So I was just looking to see the first one that you had a question on was letter J. So I don't know if you which was reference V. So if you did you want to go through one?
Oh, thank you. Much better strategy. So I can take it up to.
Yeah. So I was going to recommend, unless anybody has any issues with any of them, you could do A through I, which is reference M through reference U. Then we can
stop at J.
Stop at J to. You want to go? Does that sound okay? Okay.
But if anybody has any comments or questions on A through I,
yeah,
happy to entertain those. Otherwise, I'll ask for a motion to move forward the policies as presented for second read from A through I. Thank you, Mr. Sprowski. Seconded by Mrs. Cantwell. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Abstaining? Okay. So we're passed through I, Lisa.
Okay.
On letter J, I'll ask for a motion, then we can have discussion. So motion to approve the second read and possible approval of the confidentiality and access to educational records, which is Series 5000. It's the shipment updated policy from October 29th, 2025.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Mrs. Franklin made the motion. Is there a second? Thank you, Mrs. Cantwell. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Thank you, Mrs. Lamb.
I would like to propose a revision or an amendment to some of the language that's in there. So section 2, page 4, item M, I'll just paraphrase part of the sentence. So the current language states, referencing a student's date of birth, place of birth, and parent's maiden name and any other information. I'd propose that we change the parent's maiden name to parent's maiden name or birth name to be more inclusive. Because not every parent has a maiden name or was a maiden.
Okay. Just for reference, so everyone knows, most of these policies come directly from Shipman and Goodwin, our attorneys. But I would consider that a very friendly and respectful amendment that I don't think changes the nature of that particular policy in any way. Mrs. Cantwell, you chair the committee, so do you have thoughts?
I agree with that. I just want to ask Dr. McLean, is that something that legally, I mean, is it okay to make that change?
I think making that change is not substantive. It's just more inclusive language. So I don't think that changes the sort of substance of the policy. So I think that's an easy addition to make.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're not
sure.
doing anything that our attorney would advise us not to do. Because a lot of these policies, the language is so important. So
Yeah, in this case, I think it's just, like I said, more inclusive language. And we wouldn't, if we had a situation like that, we wouldn't, deny them confidentiality. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Zabrowski?
Well, and I mean, if we do this and then, Shipman comes back and says, ooh, you really shouldn't have done that, we can always go back and revise. It's not, it doesn't seem like a big deal to change it, but if it turns out to be, we can always fix it.
Go ahead, Mrs.
Is this something that we should, I mean, if we do vote to change it, that should we let Jessica know that we did that, and that next time we're talking to her, just as a FYI?
Yeah,
you know?
we deal with Dory for policy, and I can check with her, but I'm fairly confident that we've made other little language changes before that don't sort of change the spirit of the policy or you know, as it's written. And so I think this will be okay. But if I have Dory, I will certainly ask her.
Not a special call, but if you're already okay,
Yep.
okay. Okay.
So I'm going to ask if Mrs. Lamb wants to make a friendly amendment to the motion that was issued by Mrs. Franklin.
Yes, I would like to make a friendly amendment.
To add the words birth name
birth name
or birth name instead of next to where it says maiden name in the policy.
Right.
Mrs. Franklin, you accept that? Okay. So motion made, amended. I think we just need to vote at this point. Where's Dr. Macari's the Roberts Rules expert, but I think that that's the right process. Yes, Lisa? Okay. So all in favor of moving this policy forward with that friendly amendment to add birth name after maiden name. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Anybody opposed? Abstaining? Okay, that one passes. Great. All right, Mrs. Cantwell, which ones can I do now?
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we can do K and L, and then we'll stop it for M. So right now we'll just do K and L, which would be reference W and reference X to move forward.
Thank you. May I have a motion to move forward K and L? Mr. Zabrowski, thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Mrs. Lamb. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Anybody opposed? Abstaining? Thank you. So K and L pass. Now I'm on M, which is the second read and possible approval of the Student Discipline Series 5000. This is the shipment updated policy from October 29th, 2025, which actually I think you could make the motion to amend as, I think it's probably easier if you just make the motion to pass it with your language.
I'd like to make a motion to pass this with amended language for Section 3, page 10, item 33, in reference to hazing. I'd propose that we add a definition for hazing, as it is the only term that's in the policy that does not have a definition. This may be something to run by our attorneys, but what I found is a definition of hazing would be, it means any action which recklessly or intentionally endangers the health or safety of a person for the purpose of initiation, admission into, or affiliation with, or as a condition for continued membership in a student organization. So in that student discipline policy, that was the only one that was undefined.
And your definition came from Connecticut General Statutes, I think.
Yes, Chapter 939, Section 53-23A.
Okay.
You
want to
reading that just a little bit more slowly so I can get it?
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you. Never mind.
Okay, you got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second to the motion? Second by Mr. Heisman. I'm going to open for discussion. My only concern is I'm not sure that that's the most up-to-date. The general statutes change these things all the time, and I want to make sure that that is the most up-to-date definition. So my recommendation would be that we don't approve this one tonight unless you absolutely need it approved tonight, and we just check with Shipman to make sure. I have no problem with the substance of adding a definition to hazing, but I just want to make sure that that's the most current definition in the CGS, and I didn't get a chance to look.
Can we make the motion to amend the policy to be in line with the current Connecticut general statutes?
Oh, good
for
suggestion.
Definition of hazing?
Good suggestion.
Okay.
If
Would you like
Mrs.
to-
Lamb will accept the amended, or you want to remake you want to withdraw your motion and then we can make a new one?
I withdraw my motion.
Okay. Mr. Heisman.
So I'd like to make a motion to amend, I don't know exactly what section this is, but page 10, number 33 of the student discipline policy to reflect a definition of hazing to align with the current Connecticut general statutes. Got all that?
That's excellent. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Mrs. Lamb. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Abstaining? Okay. Thank you. Well done. All right, Lori, can we keep going?
The next batch would be N, O, and P, which is reference Z, reference AA, and double B.
May I please have a motion to approve? Thank you. Mrs. Franklin's making the motion already. The ones that Lori just said. Is it Mr. Schuman seconding it? Thank you. Sorry, I'll get you next, Mr. Zabrowski. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Abstaining? Okay, those pass. So I'm on Q.
That's the last one.
Last one.
Yes.
Q is the second read and possible approval of the library collection, development and maintenance, library displays and programs, and library material and reconsideration. This is new. It is Series 6000 in the instructional series from Shipman. It is reference CC in your packet. Is there a motion to move this forward? Mrs. Lamb.
I'd like to make a motion to move this forward with the following amendments. So on page 1, paragraph 2, there's a description of the protected classes, and I would like to add veteran status. So it reads, including but not limited to discrimination based on race, color, sex, gender identity, religion, national origin, sexual orientation. I'd like to add veteran status or disability. And that's the same for section 4, page 3, A1. I'd like to add veteran status.
And Pete, I'm sorry.
The same paragraph.
Thank you. These are really great. Thank you. Is there a second?
Where was that part? I just wanna make
Just,
sure I take notes.
it's okay. Jessica's going to give it to us.
I can send it to you.
It's under the protected class section.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. There was a motion on the table. Is there a second? Thank you, Mr. Heisman. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Abstaining? Thank you. Appreciate the careful read and the very thoughtful approach to being more inclusive. Thank you for that. We're moving on to board committee reports. The policy committee did not meet, so we have no report tonight. Facilities and technology committee did meet, so I will turn to Mrs. Franklin.
So Claudio gave most of the update of what was covered, but I do want to note that there is facility tours scheduled at WIS and ECS on April 22nd at 4 p.m. and on April 28th at 3 p.m. for the middle school and high school. It's for the Public Asset and Facilities Committee. I know Mr. Heisman will be there. I will be there on the 22nd, and you'll be there. I believe Mr. Zabrowski is going to attend on the 28th. We got a brief update from Mr. LeBlanc on the Public Asset and Facilities Committee, but again, most of what was covered, we've already been updated on.
I have a question on that. On those tours, are we going to RSVP, or is it going to be just anybody just show up? How are we going to handle that? There was one on the 22nd and one on the 28th. So
Would you mind letting Lisa know who's coming, just so that Mr. Bizzano knows who to expect for each of those
That's what
tours
I'm-
and where to meet?
Yeah, exactly.
Lisa, do you mind? This is for the Public Asset and Facility Committee.
And I was told the majority of the tour will be focused on boilers and what else? Yeah, like the fun stuff. Yeah.
Mechanicals.
So, mechanicals. That's the word.
Everybody's jumping to join them. Okay. Thank you. Nothing else on facilities and technology then? Okay. In your agenda, you see topics for future agendas and possible action to approve additional topics. Are there any additional topics to be proposed? Yeah, Mrs. Franklin.
I wanted to, well, one, I appreciate all of the teachers coming out today and advocating for the position that was cut due to attrition. I know our budget has been approved, but I am asking that we put it on a future agenda just as a discussion to see if there's any potential reallocation we can look at within the existing budget to support the addition back of that first grade position.
If that's a motion, I'll second it.
Well, we're on future, I'm sorry, I don't disagree with you, I'm just trying to figure out where this fits. So we're on topics for future agendas, so we'd have to figure out timing as to when we would even be
I
able.
guess I would propose that for the May agenda, if possible.
The budget's got to be passed by the town first before we could reconsider something, because we've just
Okay.
made a proposal. So I don't know when that vote is happening. Is it May 5th?
And
May
our
5th?
May meeting is later than that.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. I would make it a broader, I wouldn't make it, because these are much broader topics, so I don't know that we want to address one specific. We would invite a lot of conversation about a lot of specific cuts if we talked about one specific issue. So I think if we broadly say budget discussion and implementation, and we can look at where we are financially, I would prefer for us to do that so that we don't narrow it too much, because there might be other things we want to talk about.
I'm totally fine with that. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we will add that to the May meeting. I would like to add a discussion, especially as we're thinking about onboarding a new superintendent. And in our budget presentation, it really struck me that we presented a set of values and a focus for the schools and the board, but I don't think we've, as a group, revisited that together, and I would really like us to do that and talk about what is our focus as we're developing a budget in the future. We have a mission that's the district's mission, but I want to make sure that we're all on board with that and that we also look at our values and our focus areas. So more like a strategic planning conversation about where we want to go. I think it'd be really appropriate to do that once we have a new superintendent in place. So I would propose that for early fall, probably September. I think it would be important to do that as we kick off the year. Is everybody okay with that? Okay. All right. Anything else on the future agenda items? We're good? Okay. I'm going to move us to comments, updates, announcements from board members and administrators. Mr. Heisman, you get to start.
I'll just thank the teachers for coming out tonight and sharing their opinion. We appreciate it.
Mrs. Lamb? Pass? Okay. Mr. Zabrowski?
I actually neglected to bring this up at our last meeting, but I'm fortunate to be one of the people who gets to participate in the Hartford St. Patrick's Day Parade each year and march along with Representative Carpino. And then, whoever's being honored that year, this year was Jack Hanrahan and Mike Slifer, the weather person. And I can tell you that this year, the one big difference was we did not have the high school band with us marching and supporting us. And it wasn't because they didn't want to. It was because my understanding anyway, there was a schedule change due to a snow day with the play that they were supporting. Is that correct? Or something along those lines? There was some kind of a schedule change that they could no longer participate in the parade. And I neglected to mention this last time, but they were incredibly missed. Having the band up on a flatbed on the back of a truck jamming out for the whole parade. I missed it personally because I missed the music, but I know that it was it's kind of like become the centerpiece that we do every year. So I'm hoping that everything aligns better next year, that we can have that. But if someone can let the band members know, we really missed having them in the parade this year, I would appreciate it.
Mrs. Franklin?
Just to thank you for the teachers who came out. We so appreciate hearing from you on any topic. And a congratulations to Miss Cochiola on her retirement.
Thank you. Agreed. We really appreciate it. We often don't get public comment, so when we do, it's really impactful. So thank you for doing that. I have a question for all of you. Many of us went to the Board of Finance meeting. This setup does not work. We complain about it every single time that we do it. I know we would like to be in one of our school buildings because that would be really nice, but how do folks feel about me looking into whether we can use that space in the town hall for future meetings? Town council, the town council chambers is what I'm talking about. Yes, exactly where the Board of Finance. The space is just more conducive. I think it would be, I just think it would be better. Sometimes I can't see folks, you can't see. Mrs. Cantwell has a question.
it's more for Steve from the IT perspective. Like, how would that impact you? Are you doing the live stream? Would you be able to do that? Would there be any challenges with that? Just thinking about that aspect. Sorry, you had to go all the way around.
Steve.
My understanding, I'll have to get more information on this from the town, but I believe that camera setup can be, we could use that feed, or just as they stream it, and it would be wherever they put it would be the new place where that feed goes.
The only thing, that feed is always live.
Yes.
So if we had to do an executive session, they typically move to that other chamber right outside. So.
I don't know if it's possible, but
Yeah,
I would
it
like
might be,
I would
but
like
Steve should-
everybody's perspective so that before I spend a lot of time, I'm trying to pursue this and look at calendars to make sure the space is available.
I think it would be good for Steve to coordinate, if allowable, with the town to just make sure that the logistics will work.
Yeah. I haven't checked their schedules of other commissions and boards against ours to make sure that we actually can use this space. But if it's possible, I just wanted to know if you all would be interested in me looking into that.
I would.
I know Mr. Schumann would be so disappointed if we left this space.
They're the board, they're typically different nights on purpose. Obviously, budget season gets a little backed up, but we would just have to work it out in the future.
Well, I know Catherine's representing us on the Board of Finance, and she doesn't have a conflict, and you represent us on the Town Council, and you don't have a conflict. But there are others. There's planning and zoning, and there's, many other boards and commissions. So I'm happy to look into it if it's an option. And right. I don't know if it'll work, but I didn't want to put time and effort into it if you all said, no, we really like being in a school. I do like being in one of our school buildings. That is a nice thing, but parking's really great there too. You don't have to walk across the dark lot. All right. I will pursue and give you feedback and let you know what I find out. All right. I have nothing else except I just absolutely love hearing our students, and I'm so excited that they came. And I wish more students would come and share their experiences with us in public comment as well. Okay. Mrs. Cantwell. Mr. Schumann? Miss Maddie?
I don't want to belabor this point, but I do want to say thank you to all the teachers who came out. I thought that the statement that was made was very articulate and certainly persuasive. But I do want to say that on the day of that discussion, I said I would not, and I voted against the budget. I said I would never be in favor of seeing a teacher position cut. And so I was a little thrown, and the reason for my raising my hand when tonight it was revealed that in fact there was a teacher, a very good teacher, who's going to be let go because of this. So all I'm saying is that I was under the impression that the position was going to be sort of a wash because it was being through attrition. That person was leaving, not realizing that there was going to be a very good person, who was going to be let go. I want to say that again, and I feel bad about that.
So I can clarify, just because I asked Dr. Macri this question too.
I appreciate that.
It's not a permanent teaching position. It was a substitute teaching position. The person had been with us for a long time because it was a long-term substitute position, but it wasn't a contractual permanent teaching position, which I think was how Dr. Macri explained it as we had the budget discussion.
Okay.
So hopefully there's opportunity for that individual through maybe some other attrition to be able to stay with our district given the decision. But when we made it, it was, she clarified that it was not a full-time permanent contractual position, but a substitute teaching position. And we did spend a lot of time looking at, and I heard the point about class sizes, but we did spend a lot of time talking about and looking at class sizes to make sure that they would still remain within a reasonable level. So,
but when we can't forget that the most important thing we can do for our students, I know it says students first, but the most important thing we can do for our students is make sure that we have the best teachers. I mean, you can find out over the process of time that a substitute was doing an incredible job, and imagine doing that for a short period of time, for not having the commitment of a permanent job. That's a person, I know we all feel this way. I know I'm not saying anything that no one else doesn't believe as well, but that's the way you learn that these are great teachers to have if you can possibly bring them back. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Okay, then I will ask for a motion to adjourn. This is the earliest we've gotten out of here in a really long time. So moved. Mr. Zabrowski, Mr.